Ashley.
Alright, hi everyone, I'm Kelly. I'm the media supervisor here, and I'm going to kind of loosen it up. And we're going to start off with a poll. So I want everyone to raise your hand if you have seen a digital ad in the past week. Alright, awesome. Patrick, I'm going to pick on you. Do you remember where you saw that ad at?
In my email, it was from you guys. I was reviewing some work. You picked on me over yesterday.
Well, then the most difficult question, was that ad valuable to you? Well, that's great, and that's really awesome. You thought it was valuable because we're actually at a huge crossroads right now in advertising where there are so many people who don't think digital ads are valuable. They actually think they're so unvaluable that they're downloading tons of ad blocking software. I'm sure you've all heard of it. I'm sure some of you in this room also download it. But it's actually estimated that next year, over 86 million US users are going to be having ad blocking software on their devices, which is huge. And it's a huge problem. And why are they doing it? Because they think ads are annoying. They think they're disruptive. They think they're intrusive. They think they slow down their page load time. And a lot of people think they're a threat to their digital security. And why is that? Because ad tech just sped up so quickly, and a lot of publishers out there to monetize their sites so much that they started adding ads that came from the bottom, ads that came from the side, scroll over from the corner, pop up here, pop up there. And it completely ruined the user experience. And people got really fed up with it. They didn't want to deal with it, so they started downloading ad blocking software. And that makes my job as a media planner really fun. And often very difficult and interesting. But we get it, right? Not everybody loves ads. But ad dollars are what pay for the majority of your free content that you all consume every day. And I also know as a media planner that oftentimes ads can be very engaging and valuable if you execute them correctly. So I'm going to walk you through my 3 pillars that I like to think about when I'm crafting a strategic media plan, which are be polite, be relevant, and be unique. All right, so be polite. Don't interrupt. Nobody likes to be interrupted, especially when you're in an intense browsing session trying to figure out who stole Kim K's jewelry, like Donald Trump tweeted last night. So don't interrupt. A recent study showed that 91% of people think that ads today online are more intrusive than they were just a few years ago, which presents a big problem. So when we're media planning, we want to avoid annoying pop-ups. We want to avoid those intrusive interstitials that are on your mobile device and there's literally no X anywhere. It never comes up. You just sit there waiting for it. They're awful. So take a step back and think about if you're in your mobile browsing experience or desktop browsing experience, how would you feel if you came across that ad? If you think it's intrusive or annoying, then that is not something you should ever be putting on your media plan. That same study I talked about too, over half of the respondents thought that most ads today don't look professional and that they're insulting to their intelligence, which is a big deal. So, be respectful to your audience. We want to avoid any manipulative messaging, any misleading messaging, and we just really want to provide valuable content to our audience. So we don't want to, please, just don't. Don't we all see them, we all laugh at them, but what is going on there? Also, we don't need to be too creepy. We know with media, we can literally target at the household level, so we don't really need to put Joe Schmo's name on the banner to make it have more of an impact. We already know getting eyeballs on our media is work in and of itself, so let's not kill that prospect right away. All right, and then on to my next pillar is be relevant. So you want to know your audience. You want to especially know your digital audience because a lot of times our digital audience doesn't 100% match up with who our perceived brand's target audience is. And once you have a full view of your audience, then you can really use your data. Use your first-party data. Your free, 100% owned by you, first-party data. This is more valuable than any second or third-party data you'll ever come across. And with this data, you can identify where your current customers and potential customers fall on the consumer decision journey, and then you can apply media that hits them at all of those different stages. Also, by using first-party data, you can start using more strategic media strategies like dynamic retargeting, sequential messaging, lookalike prospecting, and so much more. So on to my last pillar, which is be unique. So I want anyone to raise their hand if their brand does not have at least 3 to 5 direct competitors in its space. Perfect. That works out. I like that. Right, so we know there's a ton of competition out there, and Kelly. We know there's a ton of competition out there, and sometimes we all kind of struggle with how to differentiate our brand. I know, and you know, your brand is definitely the best out there, for sure, 100%. But sometimes we struggle with that. But thankfully, to be unique in the media sense means that you don't have to have huge product differentiators. You just need to be willing to open your mind and step outside the box and try new things with media. So my next thing is really expand your media mix. There's countless opportunities that my team hears about every day. There's always new innovative media placements. I mean, everything from native content, native video, pre-roll video, midstream video, outstream video, rising star banners, and virtual reality. So the possibilities are really endless, and when you incorporate an array of different messages in your media mix, you're really expanding your reach, and you're gonna really hit all of your consumers within that full consumer journey. And I also know a lot of you out there probably spend a good amount of money making a ton of creative assets, and sometimes they get buried within your sites. They're only being sent out to your current email database. So let's make the value go farther by incorporating some of that creative into new, unique, creative media executions. So there you have it. My 3 pillars of media planning: be polite, be relevant, and be unique. I challenge each and every one of you next time you're reviewing your media plans to try and check the boxes on all 3 of those. All right, well, thank you for your time.